the objective, right? The objective of the woo woo is, as you said, like spiritual connection and growth, enlightenment about yourself to figure out who you truly are, right? The objective of the other side, the business side of it, let's call it, is often viewed as like growth and profits and more sales and more clients and all that. And that's where I wonder about the compatibility. I don't doubt that people can bring them together, but if we're being super honest as they do that, some of these corporations we're talking about, is it more of an illusion? Like, is it true that ultimately one of those, it can only be one objective? You can either get to your enlightened state or you can become business successful. Like, you can't, like, those two things are at odds in some way, because what it takes to be successful in business maybe goes against some of the things it takes to be enlightened. I'm not saying that's true, but I think it's worth
Yeah.
exploring, you know?
I think, Terry, that we have to look at this with completely different eyes, because when we're creating a business, the objective is to make money, to maybe build a brand, whatever. So there's lots of tangibles there. But to me, that's doing. That's not being. The other side is being. So I have to be myself. I have to show up as my authentic self. And so if that means I need to talk about woo woo, and that's me, I'm going to do that unapologetically because that's who I am. Now, the thing is, the reason why we don't do that is because we are tribal people. We want to belong to tribes. We don't want to be the black sheep. It's lonely being the black sheep. We want to be a part of the herd, right? But the ones that are not a part of the herd are always the ones that are the most successful, most highly regarded, and the deepest people you can actually meet, right? So what am I saying here? I'm saying that if you do show up as your unapologetically yourself, and you do merge the doing and the being, the business and the woo-woo, whatever label you want to give it, what it gives us is this deep sense of balance, because then the right people will be drawn to us, because we should not ever be looking at everybody should love me. We should be looking at our businesses through a completely different eyes if we merge these two things together and say the right people will find me. The right people will be drawn to me. The right people will resonate to me. And I've run my whole business like this, so, and my clients do as well. Most people that I know that think like us, they are all in the same boat. They're not a part of the masses. They have very, very finite, small circles of influence that think like us. So I want to be there. I don't want to be with the masses. I'm not interested in learning what everybody else is learning. How do I learn when we're all learning the same thing? I want to go to that group where they're learning, and that knowledge is not available on Amazon, or it's not available in the local library. I want to learn knowledge that I can't buy in a library or in a bookstore. And for me, that is very, very important, that we start to show up in our world as unapologetically ourselves and go to a place where we've never been before, because people will resonate with people if they're afraid to say something, or they're thinking something, they're afraid to say what they're thinking. And here's someone that shows up and basically says what they're thinking. You think that there's not going to be a connection? I guarantee you that there's a connection. Immediately you're drawn to those people, and even if you did it secretly, oh, can I connect with you? Even if you did it secretly, you're still going to do it because you know deep inside that what they're saying is the truth. And for me, I guess I can break this down really easily. For me, what I'm saying is we have to be comfortable to show up as our true self, not our false self. We worship our false self and protect it at all costs. And underneath our false self lives fear on a grand scale. So wouldn't it be better to actually go to our true self, show up as that individual, woo-woo and all, and start to open ourselves up to something much bigger than us and learn that knowledge? We have to learn it. We've never been taught that knowledge at school. We've never been taught emotions and feelings at school. That we've only ever been taught how to be robotic, get results, you win or you lose, you're good or you're bad, you're smart or you're dumb, go to university, get a job, and you're set for life. But you and I know you're not set for life. So something's wrong with that system. That should be the red flag that says there must be something else.
Mm.
That's the question we have to ask ourselves.
I like it. I like all of it so much so that I'm going to keep pressing, because this is what I find interesting. I think pressure testing these things. So making it real for you, right? Just as an example of it, like the part in which you're tapping into that emotional side, the woo woo piece of it. I assume part of the reason you do it, maybe a significant part of the reason, is there's goodness to be brought into the world. If you can bring this to other people, it scales, it compounds, they bring it. Like, there's just so much benefit to the world, to the universe. And as you talk about that connection to the creator, somebody could take that and say, all right, Mary, so if the true self of you is that, where do you draw the line? Like, why not just give this away? Why? And this gets back to the business, like, the potential tension between business and the woo-woo side. Like, if that stuff is as amazing and good for the world and society as we say it is, and we think there is a bigger purpose here and more to us, how do you reconcile saying, and I'm going to charge you for it, and here's how much you owe me? And I'm not judging it. Obviously, we all have to eat and live. I do the same, but I think these are those things, right? Let's get to the truth of it. Let's shatter the illusions. Let's shatter all that and just be honest with
Yes.
ourselves.
Yes.
How do you reconcile that part of it, that actually I'm building a business too, and I'm not just giving away this goodness to help people? I'm saying, you compensate me effectively, I can have a good quality of life and have nice things, and then I'll give you this thing. How do you think about that?